batted in their last 5 games. The Indians found the winning formula last night. A strong start from Ubaldo Jimenez. Some timely hitting in the 5th inning, and good work from the defense and bullpen to take the opener against the BO Sox. Now the Tribe turns to Chris Seddon to keep the momentum going. He looks for his 2nd big league win. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Now that the rains have moved out, a beautiful evening in downtown Cleveland as the Tribe takes on the Boston Red Sox. It's game 2 of a 4-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning, and the Tribe has found a successful formula, Rick. They're scoring early, getting runs across in the 1st inning. Playing with the lead always helps, and they're getting good starting pitching.
Well, that has been the formula this year. When a starter can go out there and give Maniac a good solid 6 innings, preferably 7, then everything seems to click and work very well. When they do that, they have a very good chance to win. You can see in the last 3 games, 2-0, 2.84 ERA. Hopefully they're through that bad stretch when they lost 11 in a row. The starters were just horrendous. So hopefully that's by them, and they can just pick up and start feeding off each other right now. All
right, let's take a look at our Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup. The left-hander Chris Seddon will get his 2nd start for the Indians.
Well, and he's got an opportunity to open some eyes. Chris Seddon making his 2nd start this year for the Indians. He's going up against a tough Boston lineup. He started against the Tigers his last time out. He went 4 in the 3rd inning. So his opportunity to show Maniac and his staff what he can do tonight will be matched up against Clay Buchholz, who beat the Indians back on the 11th of May. He went 6 in the 3rd, 8 hits. This is a guy that gets a lot of run support, but a right-hander really slows down when he gets out of the stretch.
All right, get to a Nissan dealer for special offers on innovation that excites. Tribe looking to make it back-to-back wins against Boston and 3 in a row overall. The play-by-play action coming up next on Sports Time Ohio. All right, Indians Red Sox, game 2 of their 4-game series. Tribe a winner last night, 52-60 on the year. Red Sox come in 55-58. Chris Seddon making his warm-up tosses. Let's look at Bobby Valentine's starting 9 for Boston. It's brought to you by Kia. Jacoby Ellsbury will lead it off, followed by Mike Aviles and then Dustin Pedroia. Adrian Gonzalez batting cleanup, then Cody Ross, followed by Will Middlebrooks. Ryan Laverne gets the start at catcher, batting 7th, then Kelly Shopik and Scott Posednik batting 9th.
Well, let's take a look at Chris Seddon starting for the Indians, brought to you by MLB.com. At bat 12 for the new iPad. He's making his 2nd start this year. Last one coming against Detroit. The left-hander pitch, and he will get a look at Boston. He does have a win against Boston coming in 2010. He pitched in 3 games, 4 2/3 innings, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts against him. So it'll be all a new look for Chris Seddon. Take a look at the defense behind him. Carrera in left, Brantley in center, Chu in right. Hanahan at third, Cabrera at short. Donald back at second base. Kochman is at first with Santana behind the plate.
Eric Cooper calling the balls and strikes. Jeff Kellogg at first, Marty Foster at second, and Tim Timmons down at third. Ready to go is Chris Seddon. We'll take aim against Jacoby Ellsbury, who was 1 for 4 last night. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Without a doubt, this is a guy you want to keep off the bases. He had 3 stolen bases in last night's game. One hop bouncer to first. Casey Kochman will take it himself, 1 away. That's going to bring up Mike Aviles.
Hitting in the number 2 hole tonight. He was hitting 8th last night. Crawford out of the lineup, maybe against the left-hander, and I still don't think Crawford could play 4 straight games in a row.
Seddon delivers, and another first pitch strike. Doubles up, and it's quickly 0-2. And this is what we noticed about Seddon in his start against Detroit. A guy who will come out, he'll throw strikes, and works quickly. Hit in the air to center field. Michael Brantley, a routine play. And we've got 2 down. Injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Rick mentioned this last night. 24 players on the DL this year for Boston. Most by a Red Sox team since 1971. Yeah. That's before you were in the big leagues.
Right.
And 13 of those guys have been All-Stars.
Yeah, they have been hammered by the injuries this year, and it's no wonder that they've struggled to play consistent baseball for the Red Sox. The pieces could be there, but some of the players that have remained healthy just haven't pitched up to their capabilities. And most of the guys that were hurt, Crawford being in left and Ellsbury in center, I mean, that's a big part of their offense. This guy was hurt for a little while as well, his thumb.
The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, it also goes to show you it doesn't matter how much money you spend, injuries will cripple even the big spenders.
No question.
It's just hard to overcome injuries to key components of any team. Pop back out of play.
Right into the radio booth. Duck, Hammy.
Where teams like the Red Sox and the Yankees and the big market clubs, where they sometimes can overcome those problems where small market clubs cannot, is they can afford to go out and make a trade for a guy making a lot of money to maybe cover up a hole injury-wise. But that doesn't always work. 2-1, call it a strike, and he's back to even at 2-2.
No, you ask any manager, you go into spring training, what do you want to do? We want to break camp healthy, if possible. That's the number one thing, and try and stay during the year. It's hard to do nowadays.
Swung on and missed. Chris Seddon with a dynamite first inning. He strikes out Pedroia, and the Red Sox go 1-2-3. The Indians are coming to bat. Friday night here at the ballpark. Indians and the Red Sox. Fireworks coming up after the ball game. Clay Buchholz starting tonight for Boston. Let's take a look at Manny Acta's starting nine, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Ezequiel Carrera once again leading it off as Dribble Cabrera in the 2-hole, followed by Shin-Soo Choo. Then it's Santana, Brantley, and Shelley Duncan. Casey Kochman, Jack Hanahan, Jason Donald starting at second base tonight. Jason Kipnis still out with a sore, stiff neck.
Clay Buchholz making the start for the Red Sox tonight. He is 9-3 on the year, a 4.48 ERA. He has settled down a little bit, 80 punch-outs in his 122 2/3 innings. He is back on track over his last 10 starts, 5-1 with a 2.21, so he has gotten much better. He was getting a ton of run support. Against the American League Central this year, he has started 6 games, and he is 3-0 with a 4.19.
And Buchholz, a first pitch strike into Carrera. Carrera came on as a defensive replacement last night. Wound up getting one at bat, and he singled. Inside corner, a strike. Buchholz, 2-strike pitch. And Carrera strikes out. 1-2-3, and that's out number 1.
Take a look at the Home Depot Red Sox defense this evening behind Buchholz. Scott Posednik just called up. He gets the start in left. Ellsbury center. Ross is in right. Middlebrooks at third. Aviles at short. Pedroia is at second. Gonzalez at first with our old buddy Kelly Shopping doing the catching.
As Dribble Cabrera, 1 for 4 with a double last night. An RBI double at that. Takes it's up high, ball 1. Pitch outside, 2-0. Cabrera with a 5-game hitting streak, 7 for 20. Hits one high in the air, deep center field. Ellsbury flying back on the track at the wall. It's gone. Cabrera home run number 13, and the Indians strike again in the first inning. That makes 6 straight games that the Tribe has scored at least 1 run in inning 1, and they'll play from in front tonight.
Well, it took him one more hitter to hit that home run tonight than it did yesterday. Donald led off the game with a home run. Cabrera comes back with his 13th, and he gives it a nice ride. It looked like a fastball, 2-0, up and out over the plate.
How easy that swing was, too.
Yeah, he gives him swinging room. He got nice extension on it. The ball had some great carry, and the Indians take a 1-0 lead. 17th home run given up by Buchholz.
And for his Dribble Cabrera, 10 of his 13 home runs have come from the left side. Now Shin-Soo Choo, 1 for 4 last night. Foul the other way. And Buchholz with a strike. It's 0-2. League leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. And look at them all bunched up there right behind Alex Gordon, Choo, and Brantley, along with Adrian Gonzalez of Boston. Down in the dirt. Right back. Indians scoring in the first inning each of their last 5 games. As I mentioned, they've outscored the opposition, including tonight now, 8-2 in the first inning.
That's a pretty good MO for them. Get the early lead, and they don't start playing catch up. They can relax a little bit.
Big bouncer Gonzalez throws on the run, and Buchholz makes a nice adjustment for out number 2.
What Gonzalez is trying to do is get it to him early where he can catch him in stride, but the throw was a little low. He wanted to lead him a hair, and a lot of times when you get it, it was a little deeper than he thought. But Buchholz made the adjustment.
Carlos Santana takes the first pitch strike. Fouled over toward the Red Sox dugout. Santana 2 for 3 last night with an RBI. He's hit in 5 straight games, going 7 for his last 18. Now the 2-strike pitch is in the dirt.
Yeah, Carlos is the guy that when Manny had to take him out of that number 4 hole for a while because he was struggling. Let's face it. That's not a good thing. This team has to have an RBI guy. He isn't the guy that has been consistent and can do it because of his average, but he's the best RBI guy that Manny has to put in that position.
Popped him up here. Shallow center. In comes Ellsbury. Inning over. But Asdrubal Cabrera's 13th home run of the year has the Tribe in front 1-0 after an inning. By McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. All right, we go to the second inning. Tribe with a 1-0 lead. Chris Seddon threw 10 pitches in the first inning, 8 for strikes to set him down 1-2-3. He'll face Adrian Gonzalez to start the second. And he keeps throwing strikes. The first pitch, outside corner strike to Gonzalez, who was 1 for 3 with a home run, a 2-run shot last night. His 12th homer on the year. The 0-2 offering. Hit toward left. Carrera coming in, makes the catch. One away. He was playing deep, and that's the way you play Gonzalez because he can take the ball the other way with power. And coming in on that sinking liner, you almost get caught in between a little bit.
Well, Gonzalez used to that left field porch in Fenway. You know, that short monster. He can play pepper with it out there. Little different ballpark here. Carrera comes in. Don't know if he had to dive, but that ball might have been sinking on him.
There comes Cody Ross, 1 for 4 last night. We don't see Boston all that often. Usually you get them once there, once here.
Right.
The blue uniforms, the tops, I'm not sure. Not sure where I
like
am on
them?
that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it.
Fly ball to left. Carrera, easier play this time, 2 down. Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Bobby Valentine's crew, 3 under 500. Worst record through 113 games since 1997. And incidentally, that was the last time they finished below 500 at home. And that's where they are so far this year.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. You know, they always dominate in Fenway Park. But this is one year they haven't done that. And offensively, they scored a lot of runs. They may have the most runs scored at home this year, but it hasn't translated into wins because their pitching has scuffled.
Yeah, and Rick, the folks who follow the Red Sox say that stat may be slightly misleading because a lot of times what Boston does is they'll win 8-3 or 9-2, but they've lost a lot of 3-2, 4-2 games because their offense has been inconsistent. They'll score a lot in one game, but then they'll score 2 or 3 runs here and there. And
that you're right. They have the capabilities to put a lot on the board on any given day. But, yeah, you look at Boston, 11 and 14 in one-run games.
Swung on and missed. Well, and you gave me the stat yesterday. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but we were talking about, the Indians scoring 3 runs or less this year. They have 11 wins.
Yes.
Boston, I don't think they're even close to
that. 4. That's right. I look at a lot of teams. I look at 3 runs or less because then you'll get a gauge on how good that pitching could be. Usually, your starters will give you deep, and that bullpen will hold you when you got 3 or less. And the Indians are 13 wins. That's good. There can't be many teams more than that.
Bloop toward right. Chu makes the catch, and again, the Red Sox go 1-2-3. 2 terrific innings for Chris Seddon. 1-0 Cleveland. Striding to home plate. He'll lead off for the Indians against Clay Buchholz of Boston. A home run by Asdrubal Cabrera in the first has the Tribe in front. Michael bounces it to first. Gonzalez will just take it himself. One down. Let's check in for the first time tonight with Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, make sure you get here early on Sunday. It's bobblehead giveaway day. The first 15,000 fans through the gates will take home the 1972 Cy Young Award winner, Gaylord Perry, courtesy of Progressive Insurance. If you need your tickets, get them now, right now, online at Indians.com.
We'll have Gaylord on in the fourth inning tonight. We'll ask him what he thinks of that bobblehead dog.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, I want to see what he thinks about it. You know, because a lot of times guys say, it's okay. And we had a couple. Who was it that we had that was in the white suit?
Almost a terrific play by Middlebrooks, but he just couldn't reach it.
Was it Chew, Frankie Valley, or whoever?
I think it was Chew, yeah. Chew had the white, like the disco suit on,
Was
right?
it the disco suit? Yeah.
Once you go into the stands, you're fair game, so the fans are allowed to knock you out of the way.
That's true. I mean, that's where the umpire's pointing in there. The ball is in the seats. They can get after it.
They can go for it.
They can't interfere with you if you stay in your ground.
If they reach over the railing into the field of play, then the umpire can rule interference and the batter can be
correct.
out. Shelley Duncan, 0 for 3 last night. Checks on the ball down low. Buchholz taking a long time with Shopik to get the right call. And it's fouled off. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 fouled back out of play.
Well, come on out to Progressive Field on Wednesday, August 29th, and take advantage of the dollar dogs. You can buy early, save on your seats as the Tribe will take on the Oakland A's. It'll be dollar dog night, courtesy of Sugardale. Go to Indians.com to get your seats.
Buchholz into the line on the 1-2. Missed downstairs with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. When we were in Boston, there was a lot of talk about Clay Buchholz picking up the pace. They felt he was almost too slow in his delivery and his ability to get the sign and then get into his windup. And he had done a better job of it. But here tonight, he looks like he's just back to being almost too methodical.
Well, he was like that way early this year when he pitched against us. He was a little quicker from the full windup. But that's why we say, you get to an American League East team, it seems like games are always 3+ hours, no matter what. Some of that has to do with pitching. Some of it has to do with the hitters take so much time and they go deep in the counts.
Hit on the ground to third. Middlebrooks throws a strike over to Gonzalez, 2 away.
I like to see a pitcher in a rhythm when they get it rolling. Seddon's doing it tonight. Josh Tomlin. A lot of the Indians pitchers will get the ball and get after it and go. But strikeout pitchers are a little different. They may throw more pitches, and go deeper into counts. That's going to happen.
Guys who throw hard and throw a lot of fastballs, you get a lot of foul balls and keep at bats alive. That was the thing. I remember that with C.C. Sabathia. I mean, he'd have there would always be at least one, if not 2 at bats during a game where he'd he'd throw 10 to 12 to 15 pitches because it was fastball, and they just keep fighting it off, flick it off foul. But that builds up your pitch count in a hurry.
How about when Rafael Betancourt was coming out of the bullpen? How many foul balls did we see when he was coming out because he's a fastball guy?
Kochman taking a strike. It's 1-1. And you add that to the excruciatingly slow delivery that he had, and that made for some long innings.
Well, he threw strikes, though. I give him credit. He pounded the strike zone. He didn't mess around.
Right back to the mound. And an easy inning for Clay Buchholz. Tribe goes 1-2-3. 1-0 Cleveland after 2. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. One nothing Tribe on top. Third inning, bottom third of the Red Sox order coming up here. Chris Seddon, 6 up, 6 down, 21 pitches, 15 for strikes. Ryan Lavernway will lead off for Boston. In his first major league stint of the season, Lavernway 1 for 13. And again, Seddon just comes out down on the strike zone.
You know what? In the last couple of games, when you look at what Masterson and Jimenez did, they came out. Masterson 7 innings last night. Jimenez 6, but they were pounding the strike zone. Those guys normally can walk a few guys, but Seddon comes right out, follows suit. First time through. These guys don't really have a track record on him, even though he has pitched against them before. Not enough to, really file it in the memory bank.
Seddon, like Lavernway. Both these guys, not their first rodeo, not first time in the big leagues, but certainly not a ton of experience. The 0-2, up high. Lavernway made his major league debut with Boston a year ago, and he hit .231 over a couple of stints. Chris Seddon, meanwhile, has had big league time with both the Florida Marlins and the Seattle Mariners. And a base hit to right field for Lavernway. Just his second hit of the year. And the Red Sox have their first hit. Leadoff man aboard in the third.
Well, this is a two-strike approach, and it's not a bad one. Look at it. He gets in on him. Seddon gets there, and he goes inside out. Waiting with 2 strikes, not trying to pull it, maybe looking for a breaking ball. But he fights the fastball off, gets it into right field, gets the Red Sox first hit.
And now Kelly Shopik. Swung on and missed out front. Nineteen of Kelly's 34 hits have gone for extra bases. No surprise here. That's the same type of hitter he was for the Indians. When he gets a hold of him, he usually juices them pretty good.
He likes the fastball. That's why I said and started them off with the changeup. You saw he was out front, but we witnessed a game here. He had 5 extra base hits. Yeah. And that's hard to do.
You're not
in
kidding.
One ball game, man. What do you have? 2 homers and 3 doubles?
The 1-1. And now a ball and 2 strikes.
But, you know, when you look at it, Shopik as a backup catcher gets his heater and fouls it off, but keep it right there. He likes it down a little bit more. Kelly has 5 homers, 16 ribbies, and you think about Saltalamacchia, who has the 20 home runs. So it's pretty good offensive production from your catching position.
Shopik has hit .259 against righties and .259 against lefties. Up too high with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For what it's worth, Shopik, while he comes in with a .258 average with a runner on base, his batting average is .308. The 2-2. Down the left field line, but he's out in front of it, and it will go foul. Did you ever feel like when you had a guy out of the stretch as opposed to out of the windup, you felt a decided advantage for you as a hitter?
I'm trying to think. Sometimes you may pick up the ball a little bit better. Their motion, guys used to have more motion back then than they do now. They're so compact, so they don't get out of whack, and they try and keep things very simple. Guys used to have different deliveries.
Swung on and missed. Shopik went fishing. Came up empty. Second strikeout for Seddon. 1 down in the 3rd. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Ubaldo Jimenez with a season-high 10 strikeouts.
Yeah.
It was big performance.
He had good stuff last night. You know, the one inning where he gave up a couple of runs, just a mistake. He was ahead in the count, but he had excellent stuff last night. 10 punch-outs. For the 12th time, only 1 walk. That was the leadoff man in the ballgame.
Yeah, to start the game. Now Scott Posednik back with Boston. You talk about an odd journey. Posednik began the year in Philadelphia, wound up going to Boston. Boston then traded him to Arizona.
Right, with, I forget who he was traded with to get, didn't they trade?
Matt Albers. Albers for Craig Breslow. So Posednik decided he didn't want to go to Arizona. So he didn't go. As the runner goes to second, he is a dead duck. Boy, Laverne Way thought he was going to catch Carlos Santana napping, but Laverne Way looked like a Mack truck missing a couple of tires headed down to second base.
Well, he jumped on it and fired a seed. Watch this. He keeps it. Oh, nice job. Just out in front where he had all his motion going right into the throw. Not even close. But you know what? You still like your runners to think that way, because a lot of times, how many times you see catchers get on the ball that fast or that quickly, come up and make a great throw like Santana did right there. That was a good, nice play.
In for a strike. Anyway, so Pasednik decided he didn't want to go to Arizona. So he just didn't. And the Arizona Diamondbacks ended up releasing him, and he came right back to Boston.
Well, he may have thought, too, that
Pasednik strikes out. Santana dropped the ball, throws to first, inning over. Another strong inning for Chris Sedden. We'll go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Tribe. You know, the Tribe with an early 1-0 lead. So far, Chris Sedden is making it stand up. Home half of the third inning, Jack Hanahan, Jason Donald, Ezekiel Carrera. Hanahan 1 for 3 in last night's game. Takes a strike inside corner. Just missed outside with it. Fouled away by Jack. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another foul by Hannah, and it looked like a hanging curve that he just got a piece of.
Well, Buckholz usually has a pretty good curveball. That one stayed up in the zone. He just barely got a piece of it.
Popped him up. Out goes Aviles, the shortstop. 1 down. Take a look at the trivia question tonight, brought to you by AT&T. 3 pitchers in Indians history have won 20 or more games in a season at age 35 or older. Who are those 3 pitchers? We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Fastball to the outside corner. Donald led off last night's game with a home run. And now a little liner to short. Nice catch by Aviles. 2 gone here in the third. Minor League Report brought to you by University Hospitals. Paolo Espino, 6 innings, 3 hits, only 1 run allowed. And 3-0 with a 1.71 ERA in his last 4 starts for the Akron Arrows. Fastball at the knees, strike 1 to Carrera, who struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. Big curveball drops in for a strike, and so far Carrera's seen 5 pitches, all strikes. And for the second time tonight, he goes down on 3 pitches. The Indians go 1-2-3, and they still lead it 1-0 after 3. Nothing lead over the Boston Red Sox as we go to the 4th inning. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning here with you as always, but really special guest with us tonight. Gaylord Perry, Baseball Hall of Famer, and now tomorrow an Indians Hall of Famer to boot. Welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great, buddy. Great to be here.
It's great to have you with us as always, and going to be a special day tomorrow. Not only are you going into the Indians Hall of Fame, but Jimmy Warfield, the late Indians
he
great
was the
trainer.
Best. He was the best there was.
Yeah,
right,
I remember
Rick?
you telling me. No, there's no question about it. He got you ready, and I mean, I'm happy for Jimmy because it's just unfortunate he couldn't be here with us, but I'm thrilled to death for him.
Liner into the gap, and a diving catch made by Ezekiel Carrera for out number 1 here in inning number 4.
You know, Rick, many days, the third day, I was pitching on every 4 days. The third day, I come in and say, Jimmy, I don't know where I'll go tomorrow on the table. And he'd be working in 15 minutes. That's enough. Sit down.
Yeah.
Keep rubbing it out, huh?
I'll let you know when I'm finished. He was the best, and what a great friend.
But, you know, that's something. You guys did go every 4 days when you started pitch. You guys would go 300 innings. You'd get 37 to 40 starts in a year. What do you think the difference is today of your guys, the way you used to get ready for a year compared to what they do now?
Well, I think one reason I never thought about this until right then, you got guys throwing 95, consistent 100, some of them now and then. If I had an extra day's rest, I could throw the ball harder, but it wouldn't move.
Right.
And as you know, a moving ball is hard
Tougher
for you to
hit.
Right. So you can throw the ball 100 miles an hour to Rick Manning, about the third time up, he's going to hit it somewhere hard. So I would just say in every 4 day my ball moved good.
Yeah, but you could control that, and you know what you were doing. But, I mean, arm-wise, did you used to run a lot and you keep your legs in shape and things like that? That was probably the most important thing for you guys back then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Rick, I always started January 1st of every year, starting my conditioning program, running sprints outside. Snow on the ground, I ran outside. And then did my stretching exercise and resistance exercise. And I did it for all of January. Then February, I still do the same thing. Now I start throwing the baseball.
And get ready for spring training. And you'd have 6 weeks to go ahead. We're showing your numbers right there, 314 career wins. 3 different teams, 20-game winners. Gigantes, those Giants, who you started with, right?
Yeah.
That was fun, and the Padres as well.
I read a neat tidbit as part of your career. Not a tidbit, it's a milestone. You threw a no-hitter against Bob Gibson and the Cardinals. Beat him 1-0. The very next day, you guys got no-hit.
By Ray Rossman.
How about that?
No kid,
It's the only time that there have been back-to-back no-hitters thrown in the same series.
That was the first time it ever happened.
Well, at least you got him the first time. That's unbelievable.
I owed that to Gibson. He beat me so many times. He was hard to beat, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
But you pitched in an era where when you took the ball, you never looked over your shoulder at the bullpen. You expected to finish those games. We looked at it. When you were pitching 300-plus innings a year, you averaged more than 8 innings per start.
Yes, I was. If I was watching anybody, I was watching the dugout, see when the manager would come out so I could meet him before he got to me and told the bullpen to come in. Cause I said, I got better stuff right now than that guy's ever had, you know.
You joke about that, but, I mean, who did you learn from? Who sort of brought you up into the game and raised you as a guy to teach you to be a tough guy, and you go out there and you take the ball and you're never going to leave?
I think I really got some from my dad. He was a really good semi-pro pitcher, and he said, son, once you start, you should finish. And kind of
well, you certainly took it personally like that, didn't you?
I did. The old man meant it when he said it.
Well, I mean, and you and Jim also, your brother Jim pitched here. What a year was it, 1974?
Yes.
You know, you had that streak going where you won, 15 straight games?
15 great, yep.
And, I mean, it was a superb year. You started the All-Star game. Was it in Pittsburgh that year?
I did.
But Jim-O had a great year as well.
Yes. Struck out 3 guys in 1 inning, Rose, Bench, and Morgan.
In Pittsburgh in 1974.
That's right.
That was something. And I know when I looked at the numbers, I saw you had 37 starts that year in 74. Jim had 36. He was 17-12 and had a 2.96 ERA.
That's right.
I mean, how about that for production from the brothers? That was unbelievable. You went 21-13 that year.
Yeah, before June 15th, the next year we were gone.
Yeah, how about that? That's amazing.
Y'all had one pitcher. You had Exley, who was a great pitcher.
But he was a kid.
Yeah.
It was just a rookie.
Yeah, but he had some good stuff. And,
but, I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah. That's what happens a lot of times when you get a new manager.
Alvin Dark was in 74, and then they came back in 75, and then Frank took over.
Right. And it was just part of the thing. The manager wants to get his own people out there, and he doesn't want anybody maybe knows as much about the games he does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was amazing, because that's when I started to break in. When you and your brother were first here, I mean.
Talk about breaking you in. Let me tell that story.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I want to hear this story.
I was staying at the Holiday Inn south of the airport.
On 82, okay.
And you and Kuiper, I believe it was, needed a place to stay. So I got them a room out there. They didn't have no car. I had a car full of gas, clean. I let them use it. I said,
oh, boy.
2 things. I wanted clean and full of gas. They came back dirty, beer cans and pop cans and no gas. I had to take them to Kangaroo Court and find them.
That's where he said, welcome to the big leagues, my friend.
Yeah. You learned the hard way dealing with guys from Niagara Falls.
No, but
boy.
I'll tell you what, I keep a clean car now. You know, I was a kid back then. I had to learn. I was only 20 years old.
Yeah.
But they did. They treated us nice. I remember we came up, and you'd sit on the back side of that locker room over there, over at Old Cleveland Stadium.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, give me a Coke.
You
said, yes, sir.
Went over you owe me, Rook.
Yes, I did. That's the way it was. Hey, Rook, go get me a Coke.
We had some fun, though. We won a few good games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I saw so many fights in the clubhouse between players, manager, and everything like that. I'm coming up thinking, boy, this is the big leagues, isn't it? Coming up from the minor leagues.
They're playing for keeps, right?
Yes, they are. There's no messing around right here. You better you better do what they say.
Let me tell you about the first home run.
Oh, I want to hear
that.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to hear your story
In
about
'74, I was taking batting practice in the old Pittsburgh ballpark, and that's a big ballpark, but I could have met batting practice and could lay the ball right there. Harry Jupiter, a San Francisco afternoon paper examiner, said, "Hey, Alvin was the manager, said, this Perry kid's going to hit the home run for you." He said, "I'd be a blank man on the moon before he hits the home run." and in '69, I was pitching in Candlestick against the Dodgers, and Clyde Osteen was their pitcher, and we had a moment of silence. I was on the mound because the man had landed on the moon. The bottom of that inning, 6 years after that comment was made, I hit my first home run.
That is unbelievable. Yeah, he's going to hit a home run when a man lands on the moon. And
he was right.
An hour before. He was right, man.
He was right.
Man,
I saw Alvin. I had lunch with Alvin about 6 weeks ago in Greenville, South Carolina, and he still kind of remembers it. It was a great quote he had, and he's doing well at 91.
Unbelievable. I'm going to call him Kruskin from now on. He can do that. That's pretty good. I love that story.
2 down here in the fourth. The Red Sox have tied it. An error by Chris Seddon trying to pick off Mike Aviles at first, allowed him to go to third, and then Pedroia brings him home with an RBI single. And now Cody Ross up with 2 down and a runner at second. Hey, brothers can be ornery. Growing up together, you can, how was it playing together as brothers when you and Jim were here together in Cleveland?
When I got about 12 years old, I had my match with him and I won, so after that it was all my way.
It only took one time, huh?
But he used to go in and I'd use a capsule, the hot stuff.
Yes, the hottest stuff they made.
Hottest stuff they made. And he would go in and for workout, he'd try to use one of my jerseys, my shirts. So he got one that had a lot of capsules. He came in about 30 minutes later. I caught you.
Yeah, that's right. It was red.
He was in with Warfield getting baby oil on it, getting it down.
Yeah, because that's what took it off was baby oil.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff gets in you and it doesn't start working
Burns.
until you start sweating.
That's right.
But now, when you would change jerseys, how many times during the course of a game when you went out there?
A couple.
Underneath? Yeah, a couple. And Jimmy would be down there with the tubes.
That's
You
right.
went through maybe 3 tubes of capsulin in a game?
At least, yeah.
And I mean, this stuff was so hot they don't even sell it anymore.
I learned about in Candlestick it was so cold out there, and with that you never got stiff.
Yeah.
You stayed hot and loose all the time.
Because that was probably one of the worst parks I heard.
Yes.
Candlestick. I never played it as far as the wind goes, and it would always the temperature would drop at 2:33 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it'd be in the low 40s and wind be blowing and dirt, and it was a tough place to play.
Well, that mistake on the lake that we played was awfully cold too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it took that cement about a month and a half to warm up.
It really did.
You couldn't lean back against the dugout.
You might have played the 2 coldest parks in all of baseball
right.
when you go to Candlestick and over there at Municipal Stadium.
Yeah, that's right.
And they put Cody Ross on with 2 down. Going to bring up Will Middlebrooks.
But with your career, you pitched till you were 45, right?
45.
And in your last year, you pitched about 216 innings?
Yeah.
That year?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be a number 1 horse right now if you pitched 216 innings.
Yeah, well.
We're going to show you right now, number 300 when you were with Seattle. And I remember you over there.
That's
Yankees,
Randolph.
Willie Randolph.
Second
Absolutely.
base. Now, why he takes 3 steps? He said he was trying to get a dry spot on the ball.
Your little second baseman, Cruz?
Cruz, yeah.
That was Cruz. There
great.
it is.
I had a great shortstop. Another Cruz was, and then the other Cruz played second. They were a great combination.
On that turf, yeah.
Julio and one.
Yes.
They were great.
2 on, 2 out. Will Middlebrooks at the plate. And he takes a strike from Chris Seddon.
Well, I get to see you now. You're going to be out in Arizona, right, for November, and the old usual golf tournament we play in out there.
I'll be
for
January.
The Arizona Baseball Charities.
It's January.
They have one in January. They also have one. Oh, you come out in January. They also have one in November, or the first week.
Yeah,
he plays in any golf tournament they'll invite him to, Gaylord.
I think maybe Ferguson's going to have one in November.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I won't be invited to that, but I'll see you anyway.
I can get you invited. I mean, it'll cost you, but I can get you invited.
That's okay. I got a lot of money now. Go ahead. I just got done printing some.
Okay. I won't say anything about printing money since it's election year.
Oh, boy.
No, that's certainly something that has changed drastically since you first started in baseball, and you fought and scratched and clawed for every dollar. And now the contracts that are handed out, certainly, I mean, guys.
Well, the clubs themselves, the owners and baseball have done such a great job. They have it now to pay. Back then, they didn't have it. I know one of the reasons I got traded after 7-1, I had a pretty good year. I'd won 40 games in the last 2 years, 7-1-7. I won 40 games. And they just didn't have the money to keep paying us, and they finally had to sell the club. So now they're getting a lot of money coming in, so that's good.
We'll continue with Gaylord Perry, Indians Hall of Famer, when we return. The Red Sox and Indians all tied at 1. Sox tied at 1. We're going to the bottom of the 4th inning as Drupal Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo, and Carlos Santana coming up for the Tribe. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning visiting with Indians Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry, and reminiscing. Fun to look back at the great years of your career, obviously with San Francisco. And then I told Rick, I remember when I first started working in television, I came out to one of the old timers games at the old stadium, and that's when you showed up and you had the Indians jersey, but you had every team that you played for, the logos look like an old suitcase.
That's so I would remember who I played for.
That's when Equitable used to sponsor all the old-timer games back then.
Did a great job for us. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
What do you consider your best year? I mean, overall. I mean, it's probably hard to say because there's years that not numbers-wise, but what you consider your best year when you went out there.
You have a lot of pitchers win 20 games, so I would say win 15 in a row because that's 3 months.
That's 74 then.
You're not losing the game, man. That's unreal.
Yeah, it is. And that loss came out in Oakland, didn't it?
Right.
And it was a fly ball out in right field that could have been caught, I'm thinking.
Yep. But the guy that was playing right field is one of the greatest guys you ever want to know.
Yeah, Charlie Spikes,
yes,
was it?
Yes, he was great. Indeed. I love that guy, and I know he gave it his best effort to just the guys that played so great for 3 months behind me, something's got to happen sometime.
When you think about it, that's tough to do. 3 months as a starting pitcher, and you're going out there every 4 days to go out there and win 15 straight. That is incredible.
Yeah, because you just figure just by the sheer numbers of the game, you're going to run into somebody who's hotter than you that day.
Well, or you can someone may shut your offense out,
right?
And you give up one little run, and there it goes. But
that time is I can remember you guys making double plays that you never made in your life before.
Yeah.
And you made plays in the outfield.
I will say this, though. As a young kid coming up and you were on the mound and you were a pitcher, you felt the pressure of you being out there because you demanded that they make plays. You demanded that.
That's right. And I think you become a greater player because of that.
Well,
hey, We out here to win. We are not here just to go through it.
Absolutely. Well, on your 5th day or on every 4th day, there was no doubt. That's what you expected and demanded from the players, and they did give it to you.
And I'm sure the players expect the same of me, and that's what I was out there for.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fall anybody short.
What do you think of this bobblehead, though?
Yeah, I didn't use that kind of stuff on my hat, though. You know?
a little red spot, a little smudge on your hat there.
We got to get the goatee. I didn't know. This is new, isn't it? I like it.
There's a shot of the Gaylord
There it
bobblehead.
goes.
There you go. How about that?
You got a little dark spot on the hat. I don't know about that.
How many guys do you suppose that you had them psyched out before they even stepped into the batter's box because of they thought you were throwing a spitter or doctor in the baseball?
You remember Ralph Howard, don't you?
Yes.
When he was in Detroit,
Yeah.
Cleveland one day, he beat everybody to the mound.
Oh, yeah?
And he said, I said, hey, Ralph, what you want? I want your hat. Give me the hat. Well, what else you want? I want your glove. Give me the glove. And then Astroman and the manager got there. First time I've ever seen a opposing manager
get out there.
to the mound. That happened right here in Cleveland.
And yeah, you were checked numerous times,
Yeah.
right? And they were just trying to get it. But you're right. It was into their head a lot of
Yeah,
times.
I wanted that check all the time.
Yeah.
Now,
But
you
you were
know-
a guy that sweat a lot, too.
Remember the puffball?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. When you went to San Diego, right? The puffball?
Yeah, I had that. Texas, I had it a lot.
Okay.
But I was throwing it one day, and the umpire come out. And he said, Gaylord, what are you doing now? I said, well, you bitching about it being too wet. Now you're bitching about it being too dry. I can't do anything to suit you. He threw his hands up and went back.
Now, when you say the puffball, people don't understand that there was so much rosin. I remember you used to have that high leg kick,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you'd hit something, and that ball would come out of a puff of smoke right out of the middle, and you'd go.
No one ever swung at it.
Well, it'd be tough to pick it off.
Yeah.
I mean, because it'd come out of a little ball of smoke right
See,
there.
I could have done that with 2 strikes, but I never did.
Well,
I
yeah,
wanted
because
to.
you get them thinking to it. You didn't have to do it when you got the 2 strikes. If you did, you would have done it. I know that.
I remember you had Reggie Jackson so flustered one time. He struck out, and he got thrown out of the game. He threw Gatorade all over the
yeah.
field.
Reg and I had some great contests. He was the guy that I want to see up at the plate the most because it was a great challenge because he was a great hitter. And, one day he hit a home run off of me and goes to the bench. You know he's going to look out there and say something, and I just tipped my hat to him. And he said, did you see that guy tip his hat? But he didn't hear me. I said, I get your butt the next time.
Well, that's good. That's the competition.
Yeah.
You want to face the best and
that's
beat
right.
the best.
That's right. Most embarrassing moment, though, when Bob Uecker hit one off of me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He lets you know it to this day, too, doesn't he?
Gee. But, it wasn't so bad. I was really depressed. My teammates wouldn't sit close to me. But he hit 2 off of Koufax.
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
Oh, was that a relief?
Well, I remember that golf tournament we were talking about in Arizona. Yuki was out there, and you're talking about the old days with the Gibson and the Cardinals and the
Right.
Giants rivalry, Jim Ray Hart and the whole 9 yards. It's great stories, man.
Yes.
I mean, good stuff.
Uecker was
Good
funny,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, he's a good man.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brantley trying to get the go-ahead run home from third with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th.
Up the middle, base hit.
There you go.
Oh, a little too hard.
Maybe.
Running
Yes.
catch by Ellsbury.
Good
ends
try.
the inning. Gaylord, thanks for stopping
Okay,
by.
thank you, man.
Enjoy yourself this weekend.
Thanks, Rick.
Congratulations.
Great seeing you, man.
Nice seeing you, bud.
Indians Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry with us. We are all tied at 1 as we go to the 5th. 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. By Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. By Kia, Cleveland.com. And by First Merit Bank. We go now to the 5th inning. 1-1 ball game. Bottom third of the Red Sox order coming up here. Ryan Lavernway, Kelly Shoppick, and Scott Posednik. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1. Popped him straight up. Out goes Cabrera, in comes Carrera. And Ezekiel makes the catch, 1 away. Subway Browns post-game live returns for another season tonight after the football game. Michael Regai takes your calls and emails. Post-game player interviews, press conferences is all coming up. Subway Browns post-game live tonight following the football game between the Browns and the Lions. Well, that last inning is one of the hidden treasures of working in baseball.
Yeah.
Being able to spend some time with the guys of yesteryear, and in his case, one of the game's all-time greats, a Baseball Hall of Famer.
Well, you know what? Those are the kind of guys that, like he said, he broke me in. He was a tough guy, man, and they demanded respect. They made you do certain things, and that's why he was as good as he was. But he's a treat to be around.
But, he treated you kind of the way your parents treated you. Nothing came easy, made you work for it, made you understand and respect the game and play it the right way.
He was tougher than that. I wanted to say we didn't like playing behind you because if you made an error, he'd wait for you at the top step and say something. You come into the dugout and you're going, okay, I'm trying. Like he said, that second baseman had to take a couple steps before he threw the ball because there was a little moisture on it. Sometimes you don't realize that, but I've thrown balls from left field when he was pitching and sort of slipped to go to second. They're saying, what are you doing? But what a competitor. One of the toughest there ever was. No, it's fun. You know what? It's fun running into guys like that, Matty. Those are guys that when you're growing up, you watched on television as these kids are watching these guys that are playing the game right now, and you're going to see some. Wow, that's a
little high chin right there.
That's some chin music. That's above the chin music.
Well, you were talking about it before, Rick. Most pitchers today have a very compact, very mechanically sound delivery. Chris Seddon's a guy, a lot of arms, a lot of legs, a lot of action in his delivery.
Gaylord was one of those guys with that full windup. That's how he said, that puffball because he'd hit his leg in a.
Which they outlawed, by the way, because of him.
Well, I know. It was guys that their delivery was tough to pick up. You'd have the double pump. Remember, Paul Bird was the one guy that every once in a while he'd go to a double pump, like an old school style delivery, and that helped him out. He said he picked it up in a batting practice he was throwing one day in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. But guys back then used to have some different windups. Tough to pick up. It was all part of deception.
Now it's all about repeating your delivery, which enables you to throw more strikes, I guess.
Well, you know why? Because it's less movement. If you can stay compact and stuff like that, then, you don't get into funks. And big, tall guys, it's tougher to repeat your delivery, but it takes something away. Like he says, if you give him one extra more day rest, he'd be able to throw harder, but he wouldn't have the movement on the ball, and he would rather have the movement.
Tough play here. Throw by Donald, but Posednik still has tremendous speed. And he beats it out for an infield single.
Well, and look for him to run here, too, if he gets an opportunity.
Might have hit that right off the plate. I'm not sure.
There's nothing you could do. He gets it down. No. Even Cano wouldn't have been able to do it because he throws that ball going away from first base better than anybody. Nice effort. Infield hit for Posednik. And he gets the opportunity. He'll be off and running here with 2 outs.
Jacoby Ellsbury 0 for 2. Posednik was a real igniter for the White Sox back in their drive to the World Championship in 05. And a strike to Ellsbury, who has grounded to first and lined out to left. This will be the 70th pitch of the night coming up right here for Chris Seddon.
Well, you can't lose too much focus on the guy at first base because you want to concentrate on the hitter with 2 outs. After already throwing one past Kochman over there, let's look back at the 4th inning. Yeah, that one wasn't even close. Not allowed Aviles, and it's a guy that doesn't steal a whole lot of bases, and I don't consider a base stealer, but I mean, you have to pay attention to him just to let him know, but just a bad throw.
Just missed. Very close. 1-1.
You know, he's quick enough to the plate with his kick, Matty, that you know you're gonna give Santana a chance, and if he beats it, then he beats it. Good base stealers will do that. You just give your catcher an opportunity, and maybe if he doesn't get a great jump, you'll get him.
Ellsbury chased one that time. 1-2 strikes the count now.
There you go. It starts out of the strike zone and it continues to go down. He was able to get him to chase it. Tonight, Seddon, 8-0-2, 1-2 counts. Another good sign here in the 5th inning.
In the air, shallow left center. Brantley dives, makes a great catch to end the inning. A sensational diving catch by Michael Brantley to end the 5th. And this game stays tied at 1. Brief little rain shower there when Gaylord was on with us. But the rain is gone for the moment.
Well, we were, I think, lucky last night, and holy smokes, that is lucky.
Barrel went into the seats.
I'm telling you, that hit an empty seat. It bounced back, landed on top of the dugout without getting anybody, came down and almost got the bat boys. That was lucky. Whew. It hit the empty seats, man. It's unbelievable because it was that close. Right behind those people. I see that lady in the brown jacket. I mean, it goes straight behind, hits the seats, hits the dugout, and lands next to the bat boys. Wow. Oh, boy, that's they're very fortunate over there.
Casey Kochman tapped one back to the mound his first time up. Right over the mound this time. Backhanded by Pedroia. And a perfect throw to get him 2 away. Game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers as Drupal Cabrera with 1 out in the first inning picked up his 13th home run of the year, gave the Indians a 1-0 lead. But after a throwing error by Chris Seddon put Mike Aviles on third base, Dustin Pedroia brought him home with a tying run. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Right back.
Send out some birthday wishes tonight. Grace Lowensboro of Elyria is turning 89. Jim Paddock of Tiffin is turning 70. Bill Euchre of Pittsboro, North Carolina, 63. Happy birthday.
The 0-1 to Hanahan.
That went off his foot.
Yep.
Hit a couple more. Goldie Niesenbaum of New Albany is 60. Denise Jordan of Kernseyville, West Virginia, 44. A lot of out-of-towners tonight. And Patrick DePace is turning 50. They're celebrating at the game tonight. His brother Greg, fantasy camper. So, Patrick, happy birthday to you and each and every one of you out there tonight.
A lot of first pitch strikes tonight for Clay Buchholz. He's only given up 2 hits. They both come to the same batter as Drupal Cabrera, who hit a home run in the first and almost hit another one in the fourth. It turned out to be a double. And the Indians couldn't get him home when Chu got Cabrera over to third. A little bit low. 2-2. Dark clouds here around the ballpark. It was beautiful at game time, and then just a little brief shower rolled through. 2-2 delivery. Strikes him out. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 5 in the books. 1-1 our score. on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. 1-1 our score. 6th inning here at Progressive Field. Mike Aviles, Dustin Pedroia, and Adrian Gonzalez coming up for Boston. Right field, Chu got a great break on it and able to run it down for out number 1.
Let's check out the defense tonight on some of it. Santana jumped on a ball. It looked like it was going to be a wild pitch and jumps on it quickly. Carrera makes a diving catch. And in comes Michael Brantley to end the inning and save a run. That's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. The defense tonight played by the Tribe.
Right back up the middle. Whew. That one almost took Seddon with it.
Chuck and duck. And he did.
Second hit of the night.
He went right back up the middle. He was falling off, and that's all he could do is just lean one way. Watch this shot. You talk about how quickly that ball gets back on a pitcher. They're about 55 feet away when they're done releasing the baseball, and not much they can do but react. You can see the look in his eyes. He said, glad it missed. Hit number 4 for the Red Sox. And Pedroia has a pair.
Adrian Gonzalez 0 for 2 will step in here. A new career high, 5 1/3 innings pitched for Chris Seddon. As I said before, he's had some big league experience with the Marlins and the Mariners, but I think most of that was out of the bullpen.
Right.
And, he's getting an opportunity as a starter. And, so far so good. Couple of strong teams he's faced, and he's held his own so far.
The mentality of a bullpen guy throwing strikes I like.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy, he can't fall behind in the count. His stuff is not overpowering. But he started guys off with changeups, first pitch. He's worked the breaking ball in. He uses his fastball up and elevates it and also gets it down. Hey, this is another start that he's going into the 6th inning. He's keeping the game in check. Exactly what they have to do. And it's what the Indian starters have done the last 3 games.
He's 3-0, though, here to Gonzalez. Dangerous territory. Cody Ross waits on deck.
Now they're really swinging him over in this count to pull. He's saying he's not going to go to left, at least on the infield.
Fires it in there for a strike. That was his 80th pitch tonight. And 49 out of his 80 have been strikes. Tribe's bullpen starting to get busy. Popped him up on the breaking ball. Carrera coming in. The left fielder's there. And that's out number 2.
That's nice. High enough up there. He just popped it up.
Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question tonight.
What was it?
Guys 35 or older with 20-win seasons for the Indians. Gaylord, is he one of them?
Oh, Gaylord's got to be one of them, yeah, in 74. It's got to be who? Lemon and who else? Early win.
Did in the same year.
Yeah,
How
both
about
of
that?
them in 56.
Cody Ross 0 for 1. Intentionally walked his last time up. Time called. Swung out and missed way out in front of it. 1-1. He's kept them guessing.
Well, Ross looking for the heater. 1-0 count. What's he come with? A changeup. Like the pitch, like where it's located, and you can see where Ross is out in front of it.
I'm not sure how he was able to lay off that one. It's 2-1. Pedroia stole a base in the 4th inning. Drawing some interest from Seddon here. Hit pretty well. Deep center. Brantley looking up. And gone. Might have been a slider that just hung too much. And Cody Ross delivers a 2-out, 2-run homer to put Boston on top 3-1.
Yeah, I had him out in front early in that count, and 2-out homer. Boy, that's a big hit by Ross. And for the Red Sox, his 18th home run. Let's look at the pitch. Slider out over the plate. Didn't get it in. 81 miles per hour. But, I mean, he hit it to the big part of the ballpark. That went out to our cameras in center field. So that was no cheapie, and that went over the high part of the wall. He smoked that ball. Went off one of our cameras out there. Look at Seddon looking down. It's a 3-1 Boston lead.
Will Middlebrooks 0 for 2 tonight. Boston now with a 3-1 lead here in the 6th. And that's just so big because the Indians, and we've talked about this numerous times this year, when the Indians can get the lead in the 6th or later, that's when they have been at their best.
He's got him in the ball game. It's a 3-1 game. I mean, he had a chance to go 6 innings, give up 1 run. They get a 2-run homer. Get this out here, and man, you got to score more than 1 run if you want to stay in a game or if you want to win a game. There it is. Okay, the guy hit one out of the ballpark. You tip your cap, and come on offense.
3-1 Boston as we go to the bottom of the 6th. newly appointed Indians pitching coach Ruben Niebla. Set in 6 innings tonight.
Hey, the guy hit one out on you. Not much you can do. He was a big part of the ballpark,
But the Indians have 2 hits tonight, and
Right.
that's the problem right
Let's
now.
go. You
One
need
of them
some
left the
offense.
yard, thank goodness for that.
that was back in the first inning. And he's the only guy that has done any damage to Buchholz.
Yep, 2 hits, both by Cabrera. Jason Donald lined out the short his first time
Let's
up.
go. Now it's time to get some base runners on and come back.
Buchholz has only made 54 pitches tonight. 40 of those for strikes. Curveball and a beauty. Donald steps back in, down on the count 1-2. Right back up the middle. Pedroia misplays it. And Donald is aboard to start inning number 6. I don't know what happened there, Rick.
And then they try and throw behind him, and they double
baby.
up on it.
The double whammy.
Yeah.
Donald into scoring position, thank you very much. He'll go all the way to third
Yes.
because the throw came from the outfield.
Well, and it was Aviles that tried to come up and be a little sneaky. This could be 2 errors.
Oh, it has to be, right?
Yeah, well, Donald comes in here. Let's see. Pedroia took his eye off the ball, and that ball gets in. Now watch Aviles get it. He's watching him round the base, knowing he's going to be aggressive. He throws, and it short hops him, hits Donald, goes into the seat. That's why it's the base you're going to and 1. So he is on third base. There's your offense right there. Could be 2 errors, which it is. Error on Pedroia, error on Aviles.
So now Carrera at the plate. They pinch in at the corners. Middle infielder's back. Carrera looks outside, ball 1. That's the first pitch he's seen tonight that wasn't a strike. In his first 2 at-bats, Carrera saw 6 pitches, all 6 strikes.
Well, they're going to give you a run here. So that's certainly going to get to your offense. You should be able to take advantage of it here. This is only the second time he's been out of the stretch.
And the 2-0 in the dirt. Unfortunately, the last time they had him in the stretch, he got Santana to hit a weak ground ball to first, and Cabrera was unable to score from third with 1 out.
Well, on deck is the man that has both the hits tonight. So here you're going to see maybe Carrera, take at least 1, if not 2.
Borderline, called a strike. That looked a little high.
That was borderline, but they give it to him. It's up there. Above the belt. That's a 3-0 strike.
Buckholz ready. And a 3-1 pitch. High fly ball, deep right field. This will get him home.
Sure will.
Ross back. He'll make the catch. Tagging and coming home is Jason Donald. And it's a one-run game, Tribe down 3-2. So they take advantage of the double error committed by Boston. And Carrera, credit him with getting the job done there.
Yeah, he did. He 3-1 count. He had a great count to look for a pitch to drive. He got it, and he just missed it. You don't think of him as a power hitter, but he juiced one in Detroit on Sunday, and I'll tell you what, that's good. They come right back and they get that run after the 2-run home run. Actually, Boston sort of gift-wrapped it for him, but they certainly take it.
And now Cabrera with a liner to right. Cody Ross comes in to make the catch. 2 down. Let's send you back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pulowski.
All right, man, let's go down to Arlington. Texas taking on the Tigers here. Josh Hamilton in the first inning. Launches that one to deep center. It's gone. His 31st of the year. Watch the kid make the catch and the dance. And the Rangers have a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the third inning in Arlington. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks, Al. 3-2 Boston with 2 down on the bases empty and Shin-Soo Choo coming up.
Well, he's sort of having a talk with himself, a little meeting, because he knows if he just gets the ball down, he's got a base hit. And he fouled it off. He had a good pitch to do it with also. But they're thinking, heck, they're going to stay back. They're not bringing him in. They're looking for him to try and hit a double.
And the count 0-2. Choo had a 4-hit game in the series finale against Minnesota off left-hander Brian Dunsing. Yesterday, 1 for 4. 0 for 2 so far tonight. And the 2-strike pitch. Choo is struck out on a ball Kelly Shopik wasn't even able to catch. Eric Cooper explaining himself to Choo, but Choo's not buying it. Inning over. Take another look. Indians get a run closer. It's 3-2 Boston.
Field. Make sure you get out here early on Sunday. It will be Bobble Giveaway Day. They're presented by Progressive Insurance. The first 15,000 fans through the gates will take home the Gaylord Perry bobblehead. And then While you're online getting your tickets at Indians.com, make sure to check out those transportation options they have for you right now. They've got free shuttles from Ohio City. You can get guaranteed parking in the Gateway Garage right next to the ballpark. And then you can always jump on the RTA rail service with a family pass for the whole family. It's all online for you right now at Indians.com. Matt, Rick, we'll send it back over to you guys.
Is it a bad hair day? Bad hair day for Katie.
Got helmet head.
Well, that rain must have brought a little humidity out.
And what does that do?
Frizzes up your hair.
Is that right?
For women, yes.
Learn something new every day with you.
I'm sure Shelley would tell you that.
Cody Allen on for the 8th time this year. He'll face the bottom third of the Red Sox order. Ryan Lavernway, 1 for 2 with a base hit.
Chris Seddon, not a bad start. Boy, 5 hits, 3 runs. Struck out 3, walked 1.
And 1 intentionally.
Oh, that's right. That was the 4th inning when Gaylord was on. I wasn't paying attention.
Lavernway, a swing and a miss. You see he's got that big, long swing. And he's a strong guy. You can tell if he makes connections, he can launch it, I'm sure.
Well, the one thing he did earlier in the ball game in the 3rd when he let it off with 2 strikes, he stayed inside it, changed his approach a little bit, see if he does it here.
Nope. Couldn't catch up to the high heat. 1 down. Our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. And Chris Seddon, you know what he did a very good job of tonight, changing location and changing speeds.
That's the key to pitching. Keep the hitters off balance. Never let them know. Never throw the same pitch twice. In and out, up and down, changing speeds. He did that very well. Now you're bringing in a right-handed gasser, a guy with a pretty good arm, man, and a nice hook to go with it.
Cody's done a nice job. First big league action with the Tribe. And as you say, he's got a good fastball, and I think his breaking ball, we're going to see how good it is. He's, I think early on overamped and maybe hasn't been able to settle in to really get the feel for it, but you can tell it's a good one.
Well, he's got enough on his fastball. Teams haven't faced him before, so, locate that. That breaking ball will come. He's thrown some good ones, and sometimes you see he overthrows it and leaves it up, but that's all part of youth. He's going to figure that out. Like his stuff, though, like his arm. You can throw in the mid-90s and come up with another good hook. And Manny's going to bring him into ball games where it's not going to be, put him in the pressure cooker right away. Let him get his feet wet. Let him get comfortable. And then as that goes on, he can move up the ladder.
Now the 1-2. Breaking ball fouled back out of play. Kelly Shopick came to the Indians along with Andy Marte for Coco Crisp back in 2006. And from what I can tell, Andy Marte is out of baseball now. Spent last year in the minors with Pittsburgh, but I can't seem to find him anywhere now.
The big Saguaro may retired out into the desert.
The 1-2. Fouled out of play. STO will be out at Rally Alley again tomorrow afternoon. Chuck Galletti hosts his show, Chuck's Last Call, live starting at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow late afternoon from Rally Alley. Remember, tomorrow's a 6 p.m. start. Indians, Red Sox. And, of course, get here early if you're coming to the ballpark for the Hall of Fame festivities before the game.
That's at 6 o'clock. They also have a luncheon going on tomorrow from 11 to 1.
Fly ball to right. Chu is there. 2 away. Saw Kenny Lofton before the ball game tonight. He's in town for the big Hall of Fame weekend festivities.
Right. Sandy will be at that lunch tomorrow. Kenny, Mike Hargrove, Andy Thornton, Sudden Sam's coming in.
There'll be some good baseball talk at that luncheon.
A lot of stories. Well, you sit down, and it's fun when you get guys from different eras and that can talk about it, you know, and like with Gaylord and, well, Sam McDowell, and they were traded for each other.
That's right.
Well, Sam left here and went to San Francisco, and Gaylord came from San Francisco to here. And then, you know, you've got the Kenny and the Sandy and Hargrove managing those guys. You get a lot of good stories.
I thought it was interesting, too, to hear Gaylord say that one of the reasons he was traded was that they didn't have the money to keep him at that time in San Francisco.
After winning 40 games in 2 years. They wouldn't give him a $5,000 raise. That's probably what I'm serious. You're laughing, but I'm telling you, I should have asked him, but I don't think it would have been right. But I bet it wasn't for much more than that.
2-1 pitch. In the air routine, left field, Carrera. And the Boston Red Sox go 1-2-3. Stretch time here at Progressive Field. Drive down a run in the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic. And their free walking program, Let's Move It, Mondays at Progressive Field and the Metro Parks Zoo. Visit letsmoveit.org for more information. From our Panini camera, stop by and get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill.
Speaking of overstuffed.
Or just stuff your mouth and try to talk at the same time. Either way.
M&M.
3-2 our scores. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, and Shelley Duncan. I don't know that we've seen a more efficiently pitched game against the Tribe this year than the one we're seeing tonight from Buchholz. That was just his 67th pitch of the night.
Well, the guy that has done any of the damage has certainly been Cabrera. That's it, the 2 hits. The Indians, a couple of errors last inning by the Red Sox, helped them get their 2nd run. So they're going to have to go to work for it here. Bottom half of the 7th. It's been a good ball game. Well-pitched ball game by both pitchers. They've held up their end of the bargain. Now the hitters have to do it.
Well, you could see Eric Cooper almost flinch. That was very close to being a strike, but just a little bit outside. Out of play, 1-2. Texas leading Detroit 1-0 in Arlington. They're in the third inning. Baltimore pounding Kansas City 7-1. They're in the seventh.
They're returning the favor
Yeah.
KC did to them last night, the 7-2.
Oakland leading the White Sox 3-1 in the third inning at U.S. Cellular Field. Hit hard to first, but right there, Gonzalez. One away.
Well, load up on your favorite ballpark food right here at Progressive Field, all for just $8. You can get the hot dog classic combo deal. Includes a Sugardale all-beef hot dog, 16-ounce Pepsi, and a large popcorn. Or the Brat combo deal includes a Brat and a 12-ounce beer. Both of them are just $8. Log on to Indians.com to get your tickets.
Michael Brantley looks at a ball down low. Brantley 0 for 2 tonight. Missed again. 2 balls, no strikes. You know, as surprising as Oakland has been, and especially of late, I still think the most surprising story of the year is Washington, who tonight will go for their major league leading 70th win.
Well, they're the real deal. You know, they've been out. They started out of the gates in a hurry. They haven't slowed down at all. Yeah, you got to say that is probably the best story out of everything.
I mean, to think they'd be leading the major leagues in wins? Really jammed them. 2 down. I'm not saying that people didn't realize they were a good team, but I don't think anybody saw them doing this.
Well, no, because Atlanta has a very good ball club. Of course, the Mets started off, and they're, getting back to level water. But Washington, for a team that didn't have offense, they lost a couple people. The surprise was Philadelphia.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. I mean, if anything, you thought, well, Washington, but Philadelphia, that's the problem for the Nationals. Everybody, is looking at the Phillies. They're the team to beat, and they're in the basement. Shelley Duncan 0 for 2 tonight. By the way, Washington's also ripped off 6 straight wins heading into tonight.
They have very good pitching. It's going to be interesting to see if they shut the big man down, Strasburg, which they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
When he gets to his innings threshold.
And the reason they are leading the major leagues in wins is because the Cincinnati Reds just finally stopped the 5-game losing streak. They won today, beat the Cubs, but they had kind of hit the skids there a little bit. They're still 11 games over 500.
Cincinnati quit hitting. I'm surprised they were able to stay where they were with Joey Votto out of the lineup. That's the amazing thing that Cincinnati did.
They didn't
Not
really
many
lose
teams
much.
can do that.
The 1-1. And a high pop. Looks like it's playable. Aviles, the shortstop. Indians go 1-2-3. And we go to the 8th. 3-1 Boston.
The authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Tribe down a run, 3-2 as we go to the 8th inning. Top of the order for Boston coming up here. Jacoby Ellsbury, Mike Aviles, and Dustin Pedroia. Cody Allen worked a 1-2-3 7th. He'll stay on for the 8th. Ellsbury checks. He flinched. It's a called strike. 1-1. Down low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ellsbury robbed of a couple of hits tonight. In the 4th inning, Ezekiel Carrera made a fine diving catch in left center to take extra bases away from him. And then in the 5th inning, it was a diving catch in shallow center field by Michael Brantley that robbed him of a hit. And now a pretty pick by Jason Donald to retire him for out number 1 here in the 8th. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Gaylord Perry, who will be inducted into the Indians Hall of Fame tomorrow afternoon. This was his 300th career win with the Seattle Mariners.
See that delivery and that motion? Yeah, that was one of his last teams. Number 300. You know, he had, 314, and his brother Jim had 215 wins. So between them, well over 500 wins. Commodore Perry, is Teflon Tommy calls Jimbo.
Well, unfortunately, when Gaylord pitched for the Indians, there wasn't the kind of TV that we have now, obviously, and very rarely did you see highlights back then. We do have a few Gaylord Perry Indians highlights, though, preserved forever and on the film annals. Let's take a look back. Gaylord wearing the red jersey for the
red
Tribe.
tops. I'm glad they didn't show the red bottoms when he was out there. That Duncan catching right there. That's Dave Duncan. Absolutely. Look at that. Was a sold-out house that night. One guy sitting up there, he was drunk.
There's people in the bleachers looking at him out there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Line drive, base hit into left field for Mike Aviles, who walked and scored back in the 4th inning. Our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. We'll invite you to come see the all-new 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today. Mike Aviles with that hit right there, his first of the night. Pedroia with a couple of knocks, including an RBI single in the 4th that tied the game. And then the Cody Ross 2-run homer that put Boston ahead 3-1. Tribe has cut it to a run at 3-2. And that's where we stand here in the 8th inning. Ruben Niebla out to the mound to talk with Cody Allen as Esmail Rogers warms in the Tribe bullpen. Ruben Niebla was part of the Indians staff in 2010. One of the assistants on Manny Acta's staff, and we were, I think we were in Cincinnati, and he was shagging fly balls in the outfield, and he blew his knee out.
Or Pittsburgh, one of those two.
Yeah. He spent the rest of the year on the DL.
I remember him taking that card out. It was Pittsburgh.
Dustin Pedroia will bat with a runner at first and one out. Rogers getting loose in the pen.
Well, you don't want to give up any more. I mean, you're down one. One swing of the bat could tie it up.
Each team essentially has gifted the other team a run today. It happened with Aviles at first in the fourth inning when Chris Seddon had made an errant throw over to first, and he went all the way to third base, and then he came home on an RBI hit.
So the difference then is the 1-2 run homer compared to the solo shot is what you're
go.
saying. 1-run game still.
Now the 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the look back in that fourth inning. Seddon just kind of lost it there. And Aviles went all the way to third and came home on the base hit. And of course the Indians' gift run came on back-to-back errors on the same play involving Jason Donald. Error by Pedroia, and then a throwing error, two-base throwing error by Mike Aviles. All right, that's going to be it for Cody Allen. Boston has 2 on with 1 out here in the 8th inning. And Esmail Rogers will be coming on when we come back. Red Sox aboard and only 1 out. A win, a loss, 2.76 ERA on the year. 30 strikeouts, 7 walks in his 29 1/3 innings. You got a tough customer, though, to face first.
Yeah, a guy that's the best in the business at driving them in with runners in scoring position. So not an easy task. But I'd love to get an out, love to get out of this inning and keep it a 3-2 ball game. So Rogers has the tough task of Gonzalez, and Cody Ross is following Gonzalez, and Ross is the one that gave him the lead with the 2-run home run back in the 6th.
All right, so Gonzalez trying to open it up for Boston. Rogers sets. He delivers, and it's outside ball one. Fastball in there for a strike, evens the count 1-1. Gonzalez lined out the left in the second inning. Fly to center in the fourth, fly to left in the sixth. And that was a good job of pitching in that instance by Chris Seddon when he got Gonzalez to pop up on a 3-1 pitch, but then he came back to face Cody Ross, and Ross got him for a 2-run homer. Double play ball to second.
Nice.
Donald to Cabrera. Back to Kochman, an inning-ending double play. Esmail Rogers and the Tribe turn two. We'll go to the last half of the eighth. 3-2 Boston. Bottom third of the Indians order coming up here.
All these kids waiting for fireworks show tonight after the ball game. Buchholz has been very tidy tonight. 77 pitches here. Averaging just 11 pitches, the number on his back for 7 innings. That's pretty good.
Casey Kochman looks at a ball outside. He's 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs tonight. In there for a strike to even the count up 1-1. Just missed a little low. 2 balls and a strike. 80 pitches on the night for Clay Buchholz.
Good pitch for Kochman to lay off. That was a changeup down. Tried to get him to chase it, and he spit on it. So now the count in his favor.
And another ground ball to second. 1 away. Buchholz, as I mentioned earlier, he's been just very efficient with his pitches here tonight. He's
a lot of movement. He's used that fastball enough to jam guys. Little change-ups away. Also mixed in the curveball. He's had very good stuff.
That was his 9th ground ball out. And the most pitches he's made in any inning tonight was 15.
Wow, that's very good.
But even with all that, one swing of the bat could change everything.
Well, it could, but you know what the interesting thing is? Should he get through this inning without any damage, we'll see what Bobby Valentine does.
Alfredo Aceves does have 6 blown saves this year, too.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he stays this efficient, it'll be interesting to see what he does. Because you get back up to the top of the lineup. You got 8 and 9 coming up if he gets through it. Now, I'm not saying he will.
But it's just very rare nowadays to see a pitcher face a lineup 4 times.
And walk back out there in the 9th, even though his pitch count is down. We were looking at the master of complete games we had up here in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
This is his very first 3-0 count of the night. And it comes to Jack Hanahan here in the 8th inning.
Now the 3-1. Line to left. And a head-high catch made by Posednik, 2 away. For every homer hit this year by the Indians, Rick and I each make a donation of $5, while Great Clips chips in $50 to the gathering place. And so far this year, thanks to the homer by Asdrubal Cabrera in the first, we've raised $6,120. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips. Jason Donald homered last night. Told me when he hit that home run, he looked up and he said to him it looked like it was going right for the sign, just to the left of the bullpen. And then it kind of sliced just over the bullpen and inside the foul pole down that right field line.
Most of the times you see balls like that slice foul. That one didn't. He was able to keep it fair.
This was a look at yesterday. It was a leadoff home run.
Yeah, that's how good he hit it. That ball started to slice, but no siree. It stayed about 5 to 10 feet fair. And tonight we had Cabrera getting the one-out home run, or the second hitter of the game hit it in the bottom half of the first. Would you say 6 straight games now they've scored in the first inning?
Yep. Donald down on 3 pitches, and Clay Buchholz just continues to dominate. And we will go to the 9th. Indians only down a run, 3-2. As we go to the ninth inning, for the Red Sox, Cody Ross, Will Middlebrooks, and Ryan Lavernway. Esmail Rogers got the double play ball to get out of the eighth. Will stay on and work the ninth. Cody Ross, his 2-run homer in the sixth. The reason Boston leads it here in the ninth. He hit, that was a man-sized home run he hit. You got to, that's the deepest part of the ballpark, and you got to get up over the 19-foot wall, and he did.
He sure did. He went right into our camera position.
Swung on and missed. Good slider by Rogers. 0-2.
I mean, you watch, it's a slider out over the plate, and it was down, but you watch where this ball lands. He knew he hit it well right into our camera right there. Matter of fact, it might have went off him. Either a body part or the camera.
In tight. So it didn't dent one of our cameras. It was a.
No, it's got the scoreboard camera. Man, hit him in the middle of the hand, bad place. And he caught a stinger.
Had him down in the count, but now a 3-2 situation for Ross, leading off the ninth inning for Boston. Oakland leading Chicago 3-2 in the fifth at U.S. Cellular Field. White Sox began the day with a 1-game lead over Detroit. The Indians 9 games back. Texas leading Detroit 2-1. They're in the fifth down in Arlington. Rangers started the day with a 5.5-game lead over Oakland, while the Angels have slipped to 7 games off the pace now in the AL West.
Well, we'll get a good look at that Western Division after Sunday here. We're done with the series here against Boston. Then we make an original West Coast trip that we used to do years ago. We go from L.A. for 3, day off, Oakland to 3, and then up to Seattle and catch every team as that ball comes right into your living room.
Boston will make that same road trip coming up after their next homestand is over.
Yeah, they're on a 11-day, 10-game trip now. From here, they go to what? Baltimore and New York, I believe.
I believe that's right, yeah. Hard hit ground ball to short. Checked up nicely for Cabrera, and he slings it across for out number 1. Yeah, they go to Baltimore next and then on to New York. Then they face the Angels in Kansas City at Fenway, and then they go to L.A., to Oakland, to Seattle. If you missed anything earlier tonight, stay tuned for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. We'll break it all down for you. Hope to talk to one of the stars of the game if the Indians can rally back and win here tonight. Swung on and missed is Will Middlebrooks. 0 for 3 on the night. I don't see anybody moving in the Boston bullpen, so I got to believe it's Clay Buchholz's game.
That's what I figured. He deserves the right to go out there and complete it. Finish what you started. He's been very good tonight. How can't you be? 2 hits. One of the runs they scored.
Unearned?
Unearned. They gift wrapped it for him in the 1 inning.
Rogers with the 0-2. And he hit him with it. And Middlebrooks jumped out of there in a hurry. And that's his right hand. I thought it got him on the left hand originally. Because a lot of times when a pitch comes in, it's that top hand, or I should say the bottom hand that gets hit. But somehow it got underneath and got Look, it gets the top hand.
Yeah, yes, it did. It came underneath and got that top hand, and that's the last thing that Rogers wanted to do with 2 strikes. That happened to this guy about a week or 2 ago when they were in New York on a play where he went to square around for a bunt. It hit him in the hand, and, you know, they didn't give him first base. They said it was part of the bat. He ended up getting a base hit on the next pitch, but he's going to get his base here.
He's not going to stay in the game, though. It looks like he's headed out, and they're going to get a pinch runner for Middlebrooks.
Ouch.
You know,
there's not enough
good.
meat. Plus when the hands, it has the bat behind it, and you're gripping it. That certainly doesn't help. It looked like a little wrist there, the right wrist on the outside part of it. He'll go get x-rays, I'm sure.
Nick Punto, meanwhile, will run at first base, and in all likelihood, he'll stay in and play third. Meantime, Carl Crawford's going to pinch hit here for Ryan Lavernway. As Boston looks for an insurance run. Fastball strike. Back out of play quickly, 0-2 on Crawford. Crawford played in last night's game. Went 0 for 4. Snapping a 6-game hitting streak. The 0-2. Ooh. I think Rogers wants to know what was wrong with that.
Well, let's take a look at it.
A little bit wide.
You'll see Santana bring that glove and bring it down. It was outside.
Got him to chase. And that is out number 2.
Good breaking ball that he throws it out of the zone. He gets Crawford to chase it. After that high fastball up and away, changes his eye level, goes with the breaking ball. Here comes the swing and the miss. So 2 outs.
And the batter will be Kelly Shopik, 0 for 3 on the night. He has struck out, grounded out, flied out. Started him off with a slider for strike 1. Swung on and missed. That was power versus power right there. And a count 0-2.
Yeah, well, if you stay with your power at that fastball 95, keep it belled high and above, and you got a pretty good chance. Shopik loves that ball down. He'll take a healthy cut, but it's tough to catch up to.
Struck him out to end the inning. So a nice job by Esmil Rogers. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Indians down a run as Drupal Cabrera, who homered in the first, due up second. for Cleveland. Nick Punto stays on at third for Will Middlebrooks after he left the game being hit by a pitch. Clay Buchholz going for the complete game victory tonight. And for Buchholz, he has 1 CG on the year. John Lester has pitched 2 complete games. The other complete game was a shutout by Aaron Cook. Alfredo Aceves, the Boston closer, is just now getting up. Ezequiel Carrera will lead off. And it's outside ball 1. Nick Punto is in on the grass at third. He's looking for a bunt. And why wouldn't you when Buchholz is only giving up 2 hits?
Well, sure. With this guy, that's part of his ball game. You utilize your wheels.
He squares. He was trying to run and take it with him, but he fouls it back.
Yeah, you'd love to get that leadoff man aboard. The man with the only 2 hits is on deck. Watch Carrera. See that ball? See where that bat was? He was going to drop it down the third baseline, but fouled it off.
The 1-1 takes a strike. And the curveball. Well, a lot of times guys say that's the one you want to bunt.
Yeah, it's easier to bunt. You can deaden it a little bit easier than the fastball, no question.
A little bit outside. Well, Carrera's first 2 times up, he saw 6 pitches. All 6 were strikes, 2 strikeouts. And then his third time up with a runner at third, he had a fly ball to deep right field to get the run home. Now a 2-2 count. And it's slashed foul, not by much.
Yeah, you see that ball just starts inside fair territory, but with the way he hit it, slices foul, goes in the seats as a souvenir.
Now the 2-2, a little bit outside and a full count. Check to swing, fouled back.
It's all right. Anything to stay alive. Live for another pitch. It's a borderline pitch, but you know you're protecting here. You want to get on base. You're going to be a little more aggressive. Anything close, you have to pretty much get after. He's been around the plate all night. So, okay, you fouled it off. You get one more pitch to work on. Breaking ball.
And ripped it foul by Tom Wiedenbauer, first base coach.
He tried to go in. I don't know if he throws a cutter, but it was a fastball. And if that's the case, then he goes with number 3 as a fastball.
Good first at bat here to start this 9th inning for Carrera. 3-2 count. Got him looking.
Tell you, that was a good pitch.
6th strikeout of the night for Buchholz. Take another look. It looked like it was perfectly placed.
It was. It started on the inside part, off the plate, and it comes in. Wow. I mean, to the inside edge. That's a great pitch, and that was at 93. He tried to go inside the pitch before, I think, with a cutter, and it was 88. He comes right back. That's a tough pitch for a left-hander. Carrera goes down for the 3rd time tonight.
Now Asdrubal Cabrera has the only 2 hits of the game for the Tribe. One of them was a home run. The other one was a base hit, and this one is A liner to left for out number 2. Cabrera homered in the first inning, and then in the fourth it looked like he'd homered again, but he short hopped the wall in deep right center field, and it wound up being a double. But that, you look back at that was a leadoff double. The next man up, Chu, flied to deep center, got him to third, but they couldn't get him home.
Well, you're not going to win any games with 2 hits. So they're down to their last out.
#100th pitch of the night, a little bit outside. Curveball missed outside, 2-0. Buchholz, 70 out of his 101 pitches for strikes tonight. The 2-0 to Chu. In tight. Just on the corner, 2-1.
We'll see. Anytime he's got to throw a strike, that he goes right there, inside part of the plate. He nailed it.
And a little bit low, 3-1. Carlos Santana hoping for a chance next. Buchholz with a 3-1. And a bouncing ball. Gonzalez, tough throw on the money, and Buchholz kicks the bag to end the game. So the Indians go 1-2-3 here in the ninth. And the Red Sox hold on for a 3-2 victory over the Indians here this evening. Clay Buchholz gets the win, his 10th on the year in Boston. It gets the win. They're now 56-58. The loss sends the Indians now to 52-61. Time now for our play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, you come back into the 6th inning, and it was a big inning. I mean, Chris Seddon had an opportunity to get out of this inning. There were 2 outs. He throws that slider down and away. And Cody Ross hit it a long way. I mean, that's a tough way to lose, to make one mistake. He pitched really a good game. But that mistake there cost the Indians a game. I shouldn't say it cost them the game. They did lose on that pitch there, but they didn't score any runs. But Chris Seddon did A-OK.
Play of the game brought to you by KeyBank. Earn double rewards points during the KeyBank Summer of Rewards. Final numbers tonight, Boston, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, 5 men left. For the Indians, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Only 1 man stranded. The winning pitcher, as I mentioned before, Clay Buchholz. He's 10-3. Tough luck loser tonight, Chris Seddon. He's 0-1. With the win, Boston is 56-58. Indians 52-61. Time of the game, 2 hours, 40 minutes. The attendance, 27,246. We're back with the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show next.